Hi, I'm Leathur Rokk. Welcome to my channel. And today, since it's almost Christmas, I'm going to show you an easy way to make miniature Christmas trees from your herb garden. So, follow me into the kitchen where the magic happens. And hopefully Cassie won't be attacking my cord. Okay, I'm going to plug this back in here. And I'm going to set my little tree down. Let me find my thing I'm supposed to mount this on. Bear with me for a second. So, this was done using sprigs of rosemary from the garden across the street. And even though it has got to have been freezing by now, there's certain kind of herbs that will not die off, and they're kind of like evergreen trees. And they almost smell vaguely pine-like, at least this rosemary does. But there's different kind of herbs that you can use in your garden, and you take different kind of bar glasses. If you have a collection of stemware, and say you quit drinking but you still have the stemware, and you just keep it around because it looks pretty, you put some water in it and it makes a nice sturdy base for a variety of herbs. These are the flowers of lavender, and you can see the kind of stemware that's put in. I deliberately didn't put the water up too high in case it spills on the table. This is more rosemary. I wish you could smell it. It actually does have a vaguely Christmas tree smell. And here's something that I bet you haven't thought you can make a little Christmas tree out of. This is fresh parsley. How this all came about, I dropped off my compost heap into for the garden, the community garden plot. And since I was doing that, I figured I'd pick some herbs, for the house. And when I went to pick the parsley, as you can see, I ended up uprooting the thing. So I figured, why not decorate this like a tree? Oh, I wear half the water. And this you may have seen earlier. I'm going to go back and get more branches. These are holly branches. Now, holly branches, I do believe you have to be careful if you have cats. I wouldn't have them if your cats are going to eat them, because I do believe the red berries might be poisonous to them. So always make sure to know the behavior of your cats and dogs if you have them. And I wouldn't recommend you having anything poisonous. Now, pardon me for a second while I get the thing to mount this so that I don't have it move around. All right, Cassie, I'm going to step on you. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry I can't edit with this, but I'm using a tablet, and as far as I know, they can't be used for editing. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. And can you see me? Oops. Better put this a little bit higher, but I want you to be able to see the table. Can you see any of this? I hope you can. I have some of the smaller Christmas decorations that I am going to use. And you don't have to limit yourself to just traditional Christmas decorations like your balls and little pieces of tinsel and things. I'm actually going to use some jewelry for some of these things. And as an example, I'm going to show you this sparkly strand that I got, I believe, at one of the Atlantic City, New Jersey Atlantique shows. It used to be an antique show that happened every 6 months. I don't believe that is happening here in town anymore. Maybe it is, I don't know. Certainly not during the pandemic. But another thing that I thought would be beautiful on one of my miniature trees is, this is a knockoff Betsy Johnson bracelet that I actually got at one of the dollar stores, and I just can't believe that I got it for $1, and I just think it's absolutely amazing. And I thought this little brooch, because it's so jewel-like, it would be perfect on a tree. I think it especially would have been really nice on this, considering some of the earth tone ornaments here. Just try not to poke your eye out when you're smelling these. Oh, and I want you to see who's overseeing my artistry. This is a Donald Trump bobblehead, but I don't want him to be doing his bobbling thing, so I kept the... Looks like he's got a neck brace going here. He actually looks like he doesn't approve. Actually, what he doesn't approve of is current administration. Won't even go there. So, let's get started. Now I am going to... Let's do something with this. Keep in mind, this has to be under 45 minutes because this camera shuts off at the 45-minute mark. I don't know why, but then again, I don't think that I know what I was getting into when I got this tablet. I didn't have time to do my research to see how suitable it would be for making content for YouTube. I'm only setting this up because I'm trying to think of something that I can, a way that I can make it so that you could see better what I'm going to be doing. You know what? I may need to move this to here. Okay. Alright. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to separate these. There are several of these curled ribbon kind of things all stapled together. And I'm going to use them individually to simulate garland. That way I don't have to cut up my big pieces of garland that are normally used for traditional sized trees or to decorate around the house. And first thing I'm going to do, I really should fan this out more, and you always want to go through and take any dead leaves or anything that's not pleasant looking. Oh, and I see Tabby Boy looks like he's trying to sneak down the hall. Oh, what do you think of the pineapple I got? I got groceries today and I got this pineapple. Boy, does it smell good. And nobody that I know, at least nobody in the family, has cut up a fresh pineapple in years. As I recall, it's a whole lot of work. So, but I'm going to just weave this through this like you might a normal Christmas tree, but I'm going to kind of wind it around some because it's not very tree-like in shape. But I'm just going to improvise here and go for interest and color. And then when you're done with your decorations, then you can eat them because this is all edible and these are all organic herbs. Actually, I'm sure I'm going to chop a lot of this up and stick it in the freezer. And this doesn't have to take long. If I'm getting this done in the time it takes to make this video, you can take bunches of your own herbs from the garden, especially if you're still doing your harvest and you're getting ready to put your herbs away in your freezer, or maybe you're going to dry them for the rest of your year. And there's a growing trend toward people using natural things for their holiday decorations. And this really fits in with that. It's also a riff on those edible centerpieces that people pay good money for. The fruits that are done up that look like flower arrangements and things. You just weave these in, let the curly cues stick out. Now, if you wanted, you could just keep it with something like this, or you can go back and put ornaments on. And because I have all these ornaments, I definitely want to use a bunch of those. But I really do recommend to use your smallest ornaments, because you don't want to make anything with water top heavy. Otherwise, if you have a curious cat that gets on your table, you'll have a mess. And I can kind of anticipate that's probably coming. But you figure Christmas and cats, you're probably going to have some messes. Let me take a look at this. Now, if you have extra, you can put some around the base. You can also, if you happen to have extra marbles, you can add them in the water to give it some extra weight. And feel free to mix and match the glassware that you use for this. Let's see. Okay, now I want to add a few ornaments, and these my mother gave me for this. These are quite beautiful. These, she told me the story behind them. She actually got them when she briefly worked at one of the Christmas tree shops. And these are gold toned but quite heavy. I think they're gold covered brass. Here's a reindeer. Here is my favorite, which is a Christmas tree. And then here is a choo-choo train. And I'm going to, and you don't really need hangers with these. You can just put them, use the loop provided, and just stick them someplace where hopefully they will show. I don't know if you can even see that. I think I'll save the other one. Okay, there's this here. Ooh, you know, water and electricity really don't mix. I haven't plugged this in yet. Make sure that there's no water. Then I'm going to get the cord. For some reason, the cord on this fire tablet is only 4 feet long. Ooh, I got some water that went underneath the tape. That's not good. So I actually have this plugged into an extension cord that's plugged into a power strip. I normally wouldn't do that sort of thing, but I really need extra cord length. And here I'm wiping off a little bit of water. And we get to see if Cassie's going to be good with the Christmas decorations this year. A lot of times the cat's first Christmas in a house, that'll be the year that they're curious about the tree and everything, and they'll get a little mischievous. But after that first year, I think cats get used to being kept away from trees and decorations and things. So the next thing we're going to decorate is the big sprigs of rosemary. And you know, you can use more than that. This is just what I got earlier. Was it today? Yeah. I went in broad daylight after I came back from lunch, And I had a big plastic bin full of mostly coffee grounds, and I put it over where the garden is. They have a big bin for their compost, and there I just grabbed all the herbs that I thought was convenient to do without attracting too much attention to myself, because there might have been some neighbors living there who didn't know that I was one of the original growers there, and I certainly didn't want problems with people. I'm going to go ahead and open up the clasp on this necklace, and I'm just going to weave this around. One thing you do want to be aware of is that because this is an evergreen kind of herb, there might be some sticky resin, and so you're going to want to wash your jewelry after you finally take this down so that you don't have resin stuck on your jewelry. There. I'm going to take a look at it. You want to make sure that the jewel clasp also shows up. Now that by itself I think is pretty and is very easy, but I'm not going to stop there. Now if you want, you can take a ribbon and you can tie that around there, and I might do that later. I'm not going to do that in this video because that will take more time, and again, I don't want to take a chance of it being too top heavy. Another thing you can use is if you have any rings that have a big sparkly stone like this fake diamond, you can stick that on any of the branches. I would have stuck it on in the center on a branch, but I don't have the center branch that's the tallest, so I'm just going to stick that up there. And wanting to find small ornaments. I wish I could find more of the hooky thingies, but the loops of these can actually stick right on the, you know what? I do have a hanger right here. With these things, you might want to go more simple as opposed to elaborate, just so that they don't tip over. And this, you know what? If you need a substitute for hangers, you can use twist ties. And I always save my twist ties and just stick it in the loop at the base of the ornament, twist it a couple of times, and then go find a place on your tree, and there you have it. I'm going to get some more twist ties here. Now also, if you have to, you can always use rubber bands, but that could be a little bit trickier taking them off. So I'm going to try to just use twist ties and get another ornament. Oh, this one already has a hanger on it. So that's here. So I think I'm going to stick this back here. Have it nice and balanced. You can kind of use Japanese flower arrangement as a key, as a style guide, to kind of have a nice geometric shape to it. And this, I could actually keep this as is, keep it simple, thinking about kitties knocking things over and all that. Now, I'm going to add a few things to this. And I think I may go for a touch of whimsy with this one. One of my best friends in the whole wide world sent me a goodie box last month, and it has this rainbow swirled lollipop, and I think it is just so pretty. It's too pretty to eat. I think I'm going to actually stick this in the base of this. I hope it doesn't look too ridiculous. And then, or maybe I should stick it inside. And then I'm going to leave one of these around the base of, being careful not to knock off the flowers of the lavender, since the flowering part of the lavender plant has the most scent. But the leaves have a lot of lavender scent also. And if you have a problem falling asleep at night, you can always use fresh lavender and put it inside your pillowcase near where you lay your head to sleep at night. And lavender is supposed to help you if you have problems with insomnia and things. Move this to the side. Back here. Now, I think this was still the best one that I did. I did that the other day. And these are ideally, if you can get ornaments that are like this side. And I really do recommend plastic ones so they don't break, especially if you have pets. Another thing you can do with branches like that, you can take a wire coat hanger and you can straighten out the, well, actually keep the hooky part and then turn the coat hanger into a round shape, and you can make a wreath, and you can use that as your wreath base. And then you can take branches of holly, you can take branches of any of these herbs, and you can make yourself a wreath for Christmas. And let me get this out of the way. And this is actually herbs that I have fresh, that I have sealed in a Ziploc bag so that I can chop these up and use these to eat. But most of these herbs I let dry, and a lot of them I put in the grinder, especially the rosemary. You take a whole lot of rosemary and dry it real well, and you grind it till it's really powdery, and it infuses into your food a lot better, and plus it doesn't have those needles that stick in your teeth. You can use this curling ribbon. It's not even really curling ribbon, but it sort of kind of is. You can, if you want, tie it around the base of this, but I wouldn't pull the branches tighter because this kind of helps to keep it from falling out of the water, as you could see that it already did. And they do have needles, so be aware of that if you've never worked with live holly before. And every couple of days you want to check the water level so that the herbs don't dry out. Now, I'm going to use, and be careful not to let it get too top heavy, which I don't know that you can avoid that. So this one will have more of a purple theme. And if you can get the twist ties in a green color, so much the better, because they will blend in with your centerpiece or whatever you're going to use this for. And this is a bell here, and actually what I used, this is actually from a greyhound tag. I can put this right over the leaves. And this could also go on a cat's collar. That's very Christmassy. And this I bought, this could be used in your hair. This can be stuck between a bra. This could be stuck in a thigh-high stocking. It's actually made of brass or copper, I'm not sure, but I think it's quite lovely. It won't stay in the hair unless you have it in real tight. You could just stick this in the water, This would look better if you have a bunch more branches, honestly. But these are some real easy ways that you can take fresh herbs and natural things and just put pretty Christmassy looking things. You could use this and you could drape this over. I don't think I will right now because I have a feeling it's just going to tip over and spill water all over the toilet. You can also use, oh, okay, I have some things to use. Small pieces of Tinsel Garland. That might look nice. You know what? I think the red would be better. And just drape it over. Now that I have some extra. And this star-shaped cookie cutter, one of the things I was going to do with that, my mother has this clear Christmas tree that can be used to put cookies, even though it wouldn't hold very many cookies. And if you're interested, this coming up Tuesday, you know, my baking day, I'm going to be making Christmas cookies. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming up. I have this silver thing here. I can use that. And I can just drape that here. So see, these are some simple ideas for small little Christmas decorations using your herbs from your garden. So you can use any evergreen herbs you like, or I imagine you could also use small artificial pieces if you like to go the artificial route, in which case you won't need the water in the stemware, but the water does help to weigh it down, and it also might hopefully not attract your cats, because, you know, we don't want them making messes. I'm going to see if you can get a closer view of these things now. Oh, that box, it looks like it says Whitman chocolates. It's actually my mother's medicines. She takes like 12 or 13 different kind of medicines a day if you count the sinus stuff and the vitamins and the stuff like that. And let's see, our Donald Trump again. He seems so pissed off, huh? Okay, if you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you like me and my content, please do subscribe. If you do, hit that bell so you don't miss anything. Have a happy holiday season, Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Yule, and anything else that you celebrate that I left out. I will talk to you in a couple of days. Bye.